I know it's a different perspective, and when you're younger, the race bias seems to be in your face a lot more. But as you get older, you realize that there is absolute discrimination because of your age. And that didn't hit me until there were particular jobs that I applied for, like with the United Nations, that says you have to be 59 on the day you accept the position. You cannot be older than 59. So there's no interest in, are you the best candidate for the job? There's more of an interest in your age. Of course, I would not have thought of that until I realized I'm 60 and looking at this job because, wow, it's international. I get to live 2 years on the ground in Rwanda. And, oh, by the way, you're too old. And that's when it starts to hit you. I appreciate that a part of the challenge is I may not feel my age and I may still be looking for opportunities that a 40-year-old may be looking for. And I get that, but I don't think it's anybody's right to tell me that I'm too old for a job. And I find that disrespectful. You know when there is going to be an issue with age when the employer asks when you graduated from high school. Who cares when you graduated from high school? You know, and in fact, if you didn't graduate from high school or get a GED, you wouldn't have the bachelor's, master's, PhD that they're asking for. So when you graduated is immaterial, and that's a way to figure out your age. I've been exposed, particularly in the last 10 years, so you're talking about in my 50s, to positions where there are assumptions made by the males who are the leaders about how women age and how our aging negatively impacts our ability to execute our jobs. But they don't ascribe the same issues to the men, who obviously may have greater issues, but it's an assumed challenge because you are a female. So to me, as someone who is on the other side of the other second half of the century, age-wise, that's a bigger issue for me than race. If I were younger, I can see that race may be the obvious challenge, but as an older person, the gender bias and the age bias first, then the gender bias, then the racial bias. And everyone has different experiences. And of course, I will also have the issue of being in a country that might focus on my foreign accent before it focuses on my credentials. And that I can deal with. That's not even, it's whatever. But the ageism and the age bias and the gender bias, I find them heartbreaking. And that's why, for me, they carry way more weight than the racism. And maybe it's because racism, you live with that every day, but you only get the age bias when you get older. And then there seems to be a symbiotic relationship between the age bias and the gender bias, because they feel older women get tired faster, have memory loss faster. The men make that assumption. I have absolutely mastered the art of surviving in this country, partially by force of having been here for a while, but for the most part as a strategic move. And having mastered the art of survival in this country, and the requirement was because not only am I melanated, but I have an accent. And now, of course, there's this ageism. But it was important to do that so I can focus more on being me and not on being what this society tells me or who it tells me I should be at this age. And that's why I have paid their dues, and now I'm going to do me. They cannot tell me how to dress, how to be, where to travel. They can't. They cannot, because I'm over that. I have mastered the art of survival in this society, and I've mastered the art of I like me. I like me. And I think that's important. Yeah. Because if you don't like what you see in the mirror every day, then it's very easy for this society to gaslight you. And they do that all the time. You just have to be strong enough to gaslight the gaslighter. And I get a kick out of doing that as well. If you don't create your own doors, particularly in this society, in this space, in this time, then by society closing doors, whether it be doors about age, doors about gender, they subtly corral you, channel you, herd you like cattle to move in a certain direction by closing certain doors and by opening the doors that they want you to go through. Therefore, you've got to learn to create your own doors. So when they close one, you create your own door to still get to that destination that they have been trying to stop you from getting to. If anything, my experiences have made me embrace my age with a passion, but I recognize that I embrace it differently from the average person, or I embrace it differently from how this society says I should embrace it. I am not fazed by the numbers, and I recognize that depending on the time of day, the time of year, the time of month, I may not look my age. I dress according to what I like and not what the society says I should like, or how the society says I should dress at 60. My energy level determines what I do, how long I do it, and which is what allows me to party. I can party all night, even if I crash the next day, but that's my energy level. And the challenges have given me an appreciation for my age, in that I can now do what I want to do and not what this society says I should be doing at this age.